Twilight Show. We're going to be chatting to some lovely guests today. We're going to be talking about creative writing, cross-curricular learning, and chronicles from the classroom. It's going to be so exciting. Can't wait. Please text in. Please call. Would love to chat with you.
This is Teachers Talk Radio, and you are listening live. Tune in live at ttradio.org, or to join in the conversation, download the Podbean app and search Teachers Talk Radio. Follow the hashtag TTRadio. Tune in, talk it out with Teachers Talk Radio.
Well, hello everybody and welcome to the Twilight Show. It's great to be here. Hopefully you can all hear me really well. Sorry, we're having technical issues again with my phone. So please text in on the chat, please call in. I'd love to know your experience of today's topics. Maybe we have some primary school teachers in the room. Maybe we have some high school teachers in the room. I myself am primary, so I'm always interested to know what our high school colleagues are going through and do go through the same things as we do in primary. So today we're going to be talking to a lady called Vicky Ball. Vicky is a teacher and also about to become an author. So we're going to be talking about cross-curricular learning and a unit of work that she has created in English that collaborates with other subjects. So really excited to get talking to her about that. Also reading, how she promotes reading. And I know as a primary school teacher that promoting reading is such a big thing. And I think sometimes we focus it on the early ones and the younger children so much on phonics and blending and just getting them to read. And we almost miss out on the love of reading and the promoting of reading. And I know now that I have space in my classroom that my book corner is such a lovely place. We've got some leaves hanging up, some vines hanging up that last year were in a year 6 classroom that was transformed into the Brazilian rainforest. So hi, Catherine. Hello, Kelly. Nice to see you all. Thanks for saying hi. Very nice. So reading is such an important subject. And I think, like I say, the promotion of reading and the love of reading sometimes gets lost a little bit. And just like we were talking last week about well-being with Zai, I think sometimes there are a few topics and subjects that get a little bit lost in schools. I know timetabling can always be a bit tricky, and trying to fit everything in can always be a bit of a challenge. So that would be really lovely. Also going to be talking about creative writing. And I haven't heard this word a lot since I was in high school. I remember really clearly that we had special books for creative writing. And I believe that every week we used to literally just get given our creative writing books and told, here's your creative writing book. Can you write a story? So now it's very much different. And after spending a year in year 6 where it is just so structured, I did wonder sometimes, you know, could I just give a child a book or a class a writing book and say, please write a story now, and expect them to do it off the cuff? You know, I do wonder, could children, especially in primary school, do that now? So really interesting one. And also a little bit later on in the show, we are going to be talking chronicles from the classroom. So that will be really exciting. And Vicky has a story included in Chronicles from the Classroom about injections and a giant hornet. So I'm sure that will be absolutely fascinating. And in line with Chronicles from the Classroom, I was just thinking, because I have just spent not even a full week, everybody, 4 days. Actually, it's not 4 days, I lie. It's 3 days because it's only Thursday. 3 full days with reception with 4 and 5-year-olds. I wonder if you can tell me, have you just done a full week? Have you only just started? Are you one of the lucky ones that has not started yet? I know I have a friend that hasn't started yet and I'm very jealous. And then sometimes I think, actually, why delay it? Let's just get into it. So, you know, I wondered about teacherisms and I came up with a few. I don't know if you use these in school. I don't think we even think about it sometimes. We just say them to our colleagues. So, is it half term yet? That is a good one. How many weeks till half term? Always a good one. I don't know if that's teachers being optimistic or pessimistic. Not sure which one. Inset today and tomorrow, and children back on Monday. Wow, Kelly, you are lucky teacher with 2 inset days. we had one, and before that I spent a week in my classroom throwing out old resources that probably haven't seen the light of day for who knows how long. But wow, lucky 2 inset days. I'm very jealous. Hopefully they'll be really interesting. Hopefully inspirational as well. Nearly Friday. I think we say that a lot to our colleagues. And also here's the one. How was your observation? So do you tell your colleagues, or your colleagues are friends who are having observations, or do you keep it on down low? Do you keep it quiet? How do you deal with observations? I'm thinking chronicles from the classroom. I bet people have some stories about observations gone wrong. What you let you down in your observations? Was it the IT? Was it an animal flew into the room? I'm sure everybody has a story about a lesson gone wrong or an observation gone wrong. I myself, in terms of teacherisms, I'm quite the creative teacher, so I always have these like light bulb moments, and they honestly come at the worst time. And I got to be honest, about 2 minutes before I went live, I was like, oh, that was a great idea that came into my head that I'm going to do in my classroom tomorrow. So quickly scribbled that down. And also, Catherine's messaged in. Honestly, observations are scary. A student usually, or IT. I know, right? My IT failed this morning about 5 minutes before the kids came in. Thank God. The IT guy is in on a Thursday. He was amazing. So yeah, observations are scary. Has anyone had observation that actually wasn't scary? Yeah, IT is a nightmare, honestly. I think if you're not a creative teacher, I just wonder, like, how do people do it? You've got your PowerPoint, you've got your resources ready, you've got like the slickest lesson plan, and then something out of our hands lets us down. And I was actually talking to my co-teacher at the end of the day. We were printing off lots of Three Little Pig resources for next week. And she said to me, how did people do it before Twinkle? I was like, I don't know. You've been teaching for a long time. How did people do it before Twinkle? So how did we do it, guys, before all these resources? I'd love to know if there are any longer career teachers in the room. I've been only doing it for 7 years, and Twinkle has existed, thankfully, for all those 7 years. So how did we do it before Twinkle? It's another teacherism, isn't it? Twinkle. Does that class as a teacherism? Hopefully. It's definitely a word that's used a lot. So Kelly said she's 23 years in. Kelly, how did you do it before Twinkle? My co-teacher said that she'd be sitting drawing Three Little Pigs, and I'm not the best artist. So although on my NQT year, I drew an apple on the board in year 2 and got a round of applause. So maybe I'm being too hard on myself, and maybe I am an artist. I'm not sure. Yeah, handwritten everything. My goodness. I hope you kept resources, Kelly. I'm really bad at that. I find it therapeutic at the end of the week to be like, oh, yeah, this lesson's done, chuck it in the bin. So I think I'd be really bad at keeping all resources. So, yeah. Well, we're going to bring Vicky into the studio in a little bit. I'm just going to take a quick ad break, and then I can see Vicky's in the call-in. So we will have a lovely chat with Vicky. So I'll be back in a few minutes.
Every teacher loves stationery, right? Imagine getting a selection of fun, beautiful and unique stationery items designed and selected especially for teachers, delivered through your door every month. You need to check out teacherslovestationery.club.
I'm always so excited when the box arrives. It's such a treat.
My Teachers Love Stationery Club box is just a little treat to myself every month.
It's always full of delightful and surprising items, including some really good quality stationery brands like Faber-Castell and Stabilo.
And because you never know what you're going to get, it makes it even more fun and special when you get it.
It feels really great to be supporting a family business that's run by real teachers. I can't help feeling like they just know what I'm going to enjoy using stationery-wise better than I do myself.
Visit teacherslovestationery.club and enter the code TTRadio when you buy your first stationery box to save £2 today. teacherslovestationery.club. You've been listening.
Oh, sorry guys, another tech glitch, and I just have to give a teacher the disclaimer, and I hope you'll all forgive me for this, but reception, guys, 4 and 5-year-old children since last week. So that's my teacher disclaimer. Sorry about the tech, guys. So we're going to bring Vicky into the studio. Let's see. Vicky, are you there?
Oh, hello.
Hi, Vicky. How are you?
Hi. I'm great, thank you.
Good. Hopefully the tech will work for us now.
Yeah, hopefully.
Work against us. I don't know if it's the tech or my brain. Could be both.
Yeah.
So it's so lovely to speak to you. And I was just saying that so many things that you've done, cross-curricular learning, much the English buff, it seems.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's been great.
So do you teach English? Is it high school? Just maybe?
Yeah, so secondary English, yeah. So I started off actually my teaching career teaching RE.
Oh,
but
wow. Okay.
Since I've joined this school, this is my 3rd year at this school, I was teaching English. So which was kind of a bit different for me because I'd never taught English before.
Yeah.
It's been a great it's been a great challenge.
It's so interesting, and I mentioned it before. I think it was about maybe the last show or the one before. But as a primary school teacher, I always thought that high school teachers just stuck to a subject and were specialists in that. And I've been proven wrong twice now.
I suppose a lot of people do, but I mean, I did teach RE for probably about 12 years, just solid
wow.
RE. But then I taught a bit of history, and then I taught a bit of geography. And then, yeah, actually, when I applied for this job, I was actually a history job. And they said, oh, well, someone else got the job because they had more experience in history. And they said, oh, do you want to teach English? And I was like, yeah, why not?
So
I mean, it's my kind of thing. It's not like maths. You know, if it was maths, I would have said no. But
yeah, absolutely. Maths is a different ball game, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
I love writing and reading, so I was like, yeah.
Do you miss RE?
Well, I taught it last year a little bit actually. Yeah, I mean, I still do really enjoy teaching it, so I don't mind, occasionally teaching it. But I think English has been really good.
That's amazing. So I can see that you worked on cross-curricular learning. So is that a passion of yours? I mean, I think subjects merge so well, and it's something we should do more often.
Yeah, well, I think, Bill, because I've taught other subjects, I think it is really important. And I think kids do they put things in boxes, they sort of say, oh, well, this is English, we can't do RE or whatever in English, and why are we doing this? And so I think it's good to kind of create those links between the subjects. Yeah, so I sort of came up with this idea last year that because we were doing poetry, and my head of department sort of suggested as well, sort of, why don't you do a cross-curricular kind of unit where you can link it to other subjects. So I basically sort of talked to other departments, found out what they were doing, and then tried and find poems that linked to their subjects.
Mm-hmm.
Which was really fun actually. There was some topics that were harder than others, and I thought maths, how on earth am I going to find a poem for maths? But they were doing ratio, and so I found Fibonacci, like a poem based on Fibonacci on the kind of sequence.
Wow.
And there was like about how to write a poem based on the golden ratio, and it was actually really surprisingly fun. And they created all these poems and based on it. It was, yeah, and they really enjoyed it.
That's amazing. So I always think that English in high school is about text exploration. So did you do a lot of text exploration with the poems?
Well, we kind of, we looked at sort of different poems from different topics. So we didn't really look at any text to do with them, but we did sort of analyze it for like the literary features and stuff as well. So
yeah,
I mean, the one that I had for science was kind of about global warming, and that had some amazing like alliteration in it and things like that. So it was really good.
Yeah. Did you find that different children engaged with the different poems because they thought they were in an English lesson, but like you say, and we see it in primary school as well, that children will do lovely writing in English and then they go into a maths lesson and they forget all their grammar.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they don't seem to realise it all links. And
yes.
I think there's definitely, I think some, when I asked them at the end which were your favourites, some of them said about the global warming one, because I think they really kind of like got the poem, and others were quite keen on the one we did to do with drama, which was it was called Presents from My Aunt in Pakistan, which was, and it had, because the drama teacher was doing about strong characters, so it had sort of links to strong characters in it. So yeah, and I think they really enjoyed that.
I think also poetry can be quite hard sometimes. It's very metaphorical, isn't it? So definitely. Yeah. Do you think linking it to subjects made it a little bit easier to understand? It gave them a bit of guidance?
Yeah, I think so. And then because they then looked at it in that subject as well, so the other subject teachers were like, oh, I'll try and bring in the poem as well. So they kind of, I guess, got to look at it twice, but from different angles. So the one to do with like geography was about rivers, but they had a lot of sort of technical terms in it. So she sort of went through all the technical terms, whereas we went through the structure of it. And so, yeah, they sort of from all different angles. So I think they enjoyed it because it made it more fun, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And I think in primary school, we take for granted that we're teaching all of the lessons. So I guess it makes it easier. Like you say, it's amazing that the other teachers and the other subjects took it on board as well.
Yeah, everyone was really, I was really surprised actually. I was thinking, oh, everyone's going to go, no, sorry, I'm too busy, I don't want to do this. But everyone was really up for it and they were really excited about it as well. So that was good.
Yeah, absolutely. I would imagine it's quite tricky in high school to get lots of other subject teachers on board. How did you manage to do that?
I think it was quite hard work actually sort of emailing everyone and just finding out what topic they were doing, and then I'd come up with a poem and say, how about this, does it fit in with yours? And yeah, and so, but yeah, it all worked out, so it was good.
That's amazing. Yeah, what prompted you to do it? Because like you said, I would imagine it's quite hard work to get so many teachers on board. What prompted you to go down that cross-curricular route and like multiple colleague route, I guess, as well?
Yeah. I don't know, I just thought it'd be a good challenge, because I mean, like I say, I haven't been teaching English that long, and I suppose for me, poetry is not my strongest sort of side because I don't write poetry, but I kind of thought it'd be good for me to kind of, challenge myself as well, and yeah, I just thought it'd be great for the kids to kind of have links in other subjects as well, so they don't just go, well, why are we doing history in English? And
what kind of reactions did you get from children when you were like, right, welcome to English, this is an RE poem?
Yeah, I think they were a bit kind of like, oh, okay, all right. and then when in another lesson they were like, oh, we did this poem in English. And yeah, and then we did actually do a French poem, which the French teacher, she did it in French and then I did it in English, and so that was really good because it was all about the kind of it was because it was written during World War II and when the Nazi occupation of France, so we actually had a bit of history in there as well.
Wow, that's amazing. It seems like such a round piece of work.
Yeah, no, it was really good. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to doing it again this year. So.
That's amazing. Yeah. Did you have you got a favourite subject of all the ones that you've taught?
Oh, I don't know. I think I've enjoyed all of them really. I mean, I really enjoyed history actually. I did enjoy teaching history, but I think it's quite competitive to get jobs. And
is it really in history?
Yeah.
That's so interesting. That's so interesting. I wonder why. I love history. It's my favourite subject as well. Unfortunately, we don't really teach it in reception.
Oh, yeah, that is a shame.
Yeah, I'll try and sneak some history in. So I know you're also really passionate about promoting reading. How did that come about? Are you an avid reader? Did you have children that you tried to promote reading to?
Yeah, I love reading myself. I mean, I devour books. I mean, I've read multiple books over the summer, so
did you?
My children, really enjoy reading as well. And I read to them. I mean, they're teenagers now, but when they were toddlers, we always read books together. And I think it's so important for children to, read more because obviously it does help them really in a lot of their subjects and to get that vocabulary up. And
do you find in high school you come across children that are going into year 7 and year 8 that have kind of lost that passion for reading?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is a big challenge. We do all these things, but there's still some that aren't very keen on reading. And I mean, like in my form group last year, we had like an hour at the end of the day every Wednesday where we had to fill the time with them, and so I got them to kind of read read an audio book together as the class. So, and it was, I was trying to, because I've got a lot of boys in that class, I was trying to sort of make it more exciting, actiony one. So I think it just kind of helped, I think. So
yeah, definitely. I think it's tricky. I know I had a boy last year, and I think it's hard that once they get to that age, once they get to like 10 or 11, and if they've lost that passion for reading and they don't have it, it's so hard to pick it up again.
Yeah, definitely. And I suppose, especially I think boys don't want to, they're not interested when they get to a certain age, like you say.
Yeah, I think, they either really are or they've just kind of lost the interest. It's such a shame. Like, I wonder where they lose that interest,
Yeah, and I suppose that they sort of see it as, you know, all books are about this, but it's sort of trying to get them to see that, you know, books can be about, you know, things that they enjoy, and like sports and things as well, and or even graphic novels, you know, they might enjoy reading those.
Yeah. Do you think also, I think children think like graphic novel isn't reading?
Yeah, I think they definitely do think like that. They probably think, oh, this isn't a proper book of it. You know,
Yeah.
it's still reading. And I think, yeah, they probably think if it's not a, you know, real book, then I'm not doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
like, well, actually, there's words in it, so it's reading.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you have any ways that worked really well to get those reluctant year 7, year 8 readers into books?
Well, I always start at the beginning of every lesson with silent reading.
Okay.
Which I think, you know, obviously creates a kind of calm atmosphere at the beginning of the lesson. And then, yeah, it was obviously quite difficult last year because we were in lots of different classrooms because of COVID. But this year I'm going to sort of, yeah, it's hopefully a bit easier to have the books, and yeah, maybe print out some stories for them if they don't have a book. And also I've just, well, started doing a display board in my classroom with lots of recommended books for their age group. So I'm hoping that will sort of inspire them a bit more as well.
Yeah. I always wonder as well, you know, like when we do quiet readings, like, are they reading? Are they just kind of skimming pages?
Yeah, I mean, that is the problem. You don't always know. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
It's,
nowhere an expert on trying to get kids to read, but
I know. Yeah, reluctant readers. It's good to know that it's not just a primary school thing, and it's a high school thing as well.
yeah, definitely.
I wonder
But
if there's
I've been,
anybody. Sorry, go on.
sorry, I've been trying to use resources off Twitter as well. I mean, it's been really good because have a teacher. I mean, one of the teachers shared like the big recommended list, and then one of the others was saying about how she shares what she reads with the kids as well. So as you know, the way of saying, you know, I'm really passionate about this. I've, you know, read all these books, so I've done a sort of PowerPoint slide for my first lessons with all the books that I've read over the summer and stuff. So then we can have a talk about it, and you know, hopefully that might help us out.
Yeah, I think talk around reading is really important as well. I know we had a drama teacher on a couple of shows back, and we were saying how, especially in primary school as well, I'm not sure if it happens in like high school English lessons, but drama plays a big part of the English lesson and the work around a book.
Yeah, no, that's really good ideas.
Yeah, so I think the talk's very important. Tom Rogers said, do you think silent reading would be positive in all subjects and phases in a lesson time? Or, you know, does it kind of just work as come in, sit quietly and read a book? Because I'll be honest, I do that in my classroom as well. You know, I think it's a COVID thing now. They like filter in the morning. So
no, I think it's really good in any subject. I mean, when I was teaching RE as well, I was trying to get them to do silent reading, because I think I mean, because, you know, they can have the tendency otherwise just to bundle in and sit down, and, you know, and I think it creates this calming atmosphere. And I think last year when we were in lots of different classrooms, it was so important, just because we had our, I don't know about everyone else's schools, but we had our own sort of keyboards that we took around classrooms because of COVID, so we didn't spread the kind of germs or whatever. And so, you know, we had the few minutes at the beginning of every lesson when we had to plug in that. So just getting them to sit down and silent reading just allowed me to then sort myself out. And so that was really good. But that's something I'm definitely going to carry on, because it does create such a calm start to lesson. And I think everyone should do it, really. Yeah, great.
Yeah. Did you have subject specific books then in the classroom? So like RE books in an RE classroom and like geography books in a geography classroom?
I think some of them do. Yeah, I mean, with RE sometimes, I do, like, just if they didn't have a book, just give them a RE textbook and they can read through that.
Yeah, no, it's nice to do that. Sometimes I wonder, like, I don't know if anybody that's listening in do have any suggestions of like how to make sure that it's like purposeful reading, you know, because I love it as well for coming in and read a book and just sit quietly for a minute. But I guess then there's the whole thing, and for primary, definitely now it's all about like purpose of task. I don't know if it's like that in high school as well.
Definitely. I mean, I think sometimes it's good to kind of get an extract and then have questions, so that they then,
that's nice.
And, you know, they might know that they're going to get questioned about this extract, so, you know, they have to read it. Sort of thing.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to pick you to question you. Make sure you're reading the passage. Yeah. It's nice, yeah. I quite like that when they're coming in and you give them a little task that's still related to what we're going to be doing as well. I think that's
that's really good.
just has a bit of purpose to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now you mentioned creative writing, and I said before that I haven't really heard that word since I was in primary school, and it used to be, here's your book, sit down and write a story. And nowadays it's just so structured, the English and all the different texts that you have to write, that I actually wonder, like, can children actually do creative writing?
Yeah, well, I think creative writing is so important, and I love teaching creative writing. And but yeah, I think definitely you can. There is a place for it in the curriculum. I mean, we did a unit on Gothic writing and dystopian writing as well. So we looked at different extracts from Gothic novels and dystopian fiction as well. And so as a kind of inspiration, so they sort of did it in the style of that, and they had a little, some guidance as well. But at the end of their assessment was to then produce a piece of writing, creative writing based on one of these two kind of genres. And yeah, definitely, they really enjoyed that.
Yeah. What made you choose those genres?
Well, that was actually in the scheme of work, so that wasn't my choice. But it's definitely something that I really enjoyed doing, so I was quite happy to do that.
What would be your choice of genre as an English teacher?
Well, definitely I enjoy those two actually. I don't know what else I do. I mean, I enjoy reading thrillers, but I'm not sure if might be too scary for some.
Yeah, not sure we want to scare the children. Although we read Where the Wild Things Are today, and I had some very brave 5-year-olds. So yeah, definitely. What books did you focus over them around?
So we did do a bit of Hunger Games. We did. I'm trying to think now. We did have some extracts from Handmaid's Tale, which is obviously it was quite a lot older for them, but some extracts are okay. And did a bit of Divergent and stuff that they've sort of seen on movies and stuff, so they were quite interested in that. And then with Gothic, we did a bit of Dracula and things like that. So yeah, it was all good stuff.
That's amazing. What year group was that for?
That was year 8.
Okay. Gosh, I would imagine like Hunger Games and Dracula's quite scary for those ages.
Oh, they absolutely loved Hunger Games, and they would
really
watch it at the end of the term as well.
Did you? I love it when English turns out into like an end of a term movie.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they kept going on about it, saying, "Can we watch it yet?" And I'm like, "No, it's not in the term yet."
Oh, that's definitely that's what we call like a hook. Do you feel like you hook them in with the text?
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
Yeah. Have you had texts that possibly like haven't worked sometimes?
What in those kind of genres you mean, or
in any genre?
Oh, in any. I don't know. I think Shakespeare is quite hard actually. I mean, personally, I find it quite hard as well. And especially with the language in that, I think that sort of puts them off before they start. So yeah, that does take a lot of sort of understanding.
Yeah, definitely. The language is like throws children off, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
But once they know the story, I think that does help definitely make it more interesting.
Do you think there's ways into Shakespeare that kind of make it a little less scary?
I think kind of going through the story first, and sort of maybe a summary helps actually, so that they at least have some knowledge of what the story is before they start.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Have you had some favourite Shakespeare texts?
Well, what do we teach in year 7? Is Midsummer's Night Dream. So that's quite a fun one because it's got all kind of mythical sort of creatures in it, and so yeah, they quite enjoy that. And if we read it sort of like a play, they all want to read the parts. And so,
that's a good way in, isn't it? Which part would you like? Which part would you like? And do you find with the high school children though, when you do that, you get like someone that will do voices and someone that will be really into it and some that you kind of have to persuade into it?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the same ones every week that want to read.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of them read it really well with like amazing kind of voices, and then others are sort of other classes sort of they're all fighting over the main characters because they want to read it. So I have to sort of be like, well, you did it last time, you can do it next time.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
great that they're all so enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, that is nice. But I wonder if they see it as, sometimes I think when you open a book, especially for children and even for adults as well, and you see like a whole page of text, it can just be a bit off-putting.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think it is like that, especially when the language is quite hard as well. Yeah.
Like I find when I did year 6 last year and I had to like steam through all the books that we were going to do in the summer, and unfortunately I'm not like you and I'm not the biggest bookworm, so you're reading and you turn a page and you just see like paragraphs of writing, and I used to think, oh god, but I have to finish this chapter to today because I've only got these few days left, and like
I think it's harder when you're trying to do it in a time frame as well. It's a bit more pressure.
Yeah, but do you not? I mean, we have that in primary school when you're trying to fit chapters in. Do you have that in high school? Like, how do you get around that? Because I always feel like timetabling is just always a tricky one, and especially for the English, because it was all about getting the English writing done. But then there's they can't do the writing if they don't know the text. But when do I read the text to them?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, we in year 8 we do A Christmas Carol, and even though it's not a huge novel, but we did it in half a term like before.
Yeah.
And it was quite a struggle to fit in the whole book. And I think other teachers found it maybe just took extracts, but I wanted to read the whole thing with them. But this year actually we've changed it so it's the whole term now, so we should be able to fit it in easier now. So that should be good.
Yeah, it's a shame to rush through it because they miss things.
Definitely, and I think with like with the language you're saying, with Christmas Carol is sort of that's got some hard language and some big words in, so it just needs sort of a lot of context as well and not explaining. So
yeah, no, it's interesting because like I say, we rush through text sometimes, and then even when it's like chapter upon chapter, and sometimes I'm talking to the kids about it and I say like, and this happened, and then you've got one of the kids that goes, no, that hasn't happened yet, Miss Lax, or like getting called out by children because I'm jumping ahead in chapters.
You just spoiled the end.
Oh, yeah, spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, children. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think reading is a big thing in the English classroom.
Definitely, yeah.
And like you said, you've got your cross-curricular learning and your creative writing. Do you ever bring, like you said, you brought the poetry in with the reading angle. Do you ever bring other subjects into the writing?
Trying to think if we have really. I can't think that we have at the moment, but there may be some link, but I can't think of one right now.
Like we have a lot of times where I guess you have, I'm not sure if it works so much with Shakespeare, if it has themes to it, but you get a lot of books where there's themes like that you said with the poetry that kind of work with other subjects as well.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, Christmas Carol is a lot of history based, so because there's a lot of context that you kind of need to know about the Victorian age really to understand it fully. So there's a lot of themes in there.
Do you find they get lost in the history of it sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. It's quite tricky for them sometimes.
Yeah. I'm not sure I've actually read that book. I'm not sure if I should be admitting that as a teacher. But I remember a lot of Shakespeare from my high school days, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was done when years ago, but I don't think I did it at school.
No, yeah. So yeah, creative writing. Is that creative writing? Do you find there are some students that engage in it and some students that are not so keen to pick up a pen?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some are just they have loads of ideas. Others don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
But we do try and have lots of starter sentences, or we sometimes do like a guided lesson on creative writing as well. So it's sort of prompts at each stage, like with the dystopian fiction we were trying to get them to write a dystopian story, and we sort of said, right, we've reached the fence now, what's going to happen? And so just give them ideas, and then if they want, they can just go in a completely different direction, but if they need help, then they've got pictures and that to help them, prompts. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, what's the highest age that you've taught in high school?
In English I only teach year 7 and 8, but in other subjects. And I taught A-level philosophy
Oh
at a
wow.
previous school, so I've taught A-level, yeah.
Which do you have a favourite year group? People always ask me this, and I don't have a straightforward answer, so I always wonder what other teachers think.
I don't know actually. I think all of them have their bonuses actually. But I think I don't know. I'm really enjoying teaching year 7 and 8 because there isn't the exam pressure. So it's kind of like, we get to do the fun stuff and without having to sort of worry about too much, about the exams at the end of it and things like that. So
Yeah, no, definitely. I find that as well. I said to my co-teachers today that when they cancelled SATs last year, I just felt like this massive pressure that was lifted off of me.
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine.
Yeah, it's like, you're right. And I would imagine with 7 and 8, it's the same.
Yeah.
Kind of like being like, I'm waiting to be asked to teach year 3 and year 4 because there are no major statutory assessments.
Oh, yes, that would be lovely.
And I think you're right. You can do a bit more fun stuff, or you feel a bit freer to do more fun stuff. I would imagine when you did the A-level courses, did you feel kind of stuck to an exam schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I taught philosophy A-level, actually, I took over from someone who'd just left, and so I did an A, like they were in the A2 in the year 13, so they'd already done 1 year of it, and so it was kind of down to me to then finish it off. So yeah, it was quite a lot of pressure, and there was only, I think, 6 of them in the class, and not all of them are that keen either, so it was quite difficult.
No, I've got to say, I actually think that sometimes having less children in a class makes it harder. I don't know how you feel about that, having done like 6 children at A level, and then I imagine your year 7 and 8 classes are a little bit bigger.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think when there was 6 of them, you only get 2 away, and then you've only got 4. And if you want to do something interactive, like I think because one time we were doing about Descartes, and I thought it would be really good to do a little court case thing, but sort of to reenact it. But they were actually not that keen because there was only 6 of them, and probably I guess at sixth form they're not so keen on doing that kind of stuff either.
That's so strange though that they're not keen, because I would imagine if you're picking your subjects, you'd be quite keen about it. Does it not work that way?
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe they sometimes find that it's not quite the subject they thought, or or it's a bit harder than they thought.
Yeah, Tom in the comments said that he agrees, and having 4, 5, or 6 in A level can either be brilliant or awful. And I find, I guess people outside of teaching would be like, oh my God, 6, that's amazing. That's hardly anything. But then, because I had 18 last year in my year 6 class, and like you said, when there's a few off, and it's like, if 3 children are off, and 2 of those children are one of your children that always put their hand up or answer questions, like you're a bit in trouble.
Yeah, it kind of makes it very hard work. Then you have to sort of it does very much depend on the kind of children that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it definitely makes it a bit harder. So yeah, would you pick your year 7s and year 8s over your A level?
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I suppose I probably would. I mean, I'm really happy with what I'm doing at the moment. So yeah, I just want to keep on doing what I'm doing. So
do you miss the RE?
Not so much. I mean, I'm happy to sort of pick it up if I need to or whatever. But no, I'm actually really enjoying English, and and I think after teaching a subject for so many years, it was nice to have a little bit of a change actually.
Yeah, definitely. So I asked this to my guest, I think 2 shows ago, who also trained in drama and ended up in English. Seems a lot of high school teachers end up in English.
Yeah.
I wonder, why is that? And I asked her, do you have any transferable skills or even like activities that you took with from RE into your other subjects?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, well, I think there's a lot of things we do in RE, like the written skills, are very similar in English. So so I think that just the written skills is you can pull it across, and I think though you do have to sort of change your mindset a little bit. I mean, just trying to get across different skills. I think English is a lot more complex than RE in teaching. And there was, I mean, when I first joined the department, actually, it was like a bit like a foreign language in the department, because they were saying, oh yeah, that's language paper 1, question 5, and I'm thinking, what's that? I don't know. So, yeah, it's trying to learn all the terminology. But I think, yeah, definitely the written kind of skills, because they're all sort of written subjects, the ones that I've taught, and so I enjoy writing. So.
That's true, definitely. I said, Catherine said that the written skills and also persuasion and debate definitely transfer very well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, last year I think I taught a unit in English about travel writing. So we
Okay,
did a little
that's
bit
cool.
about bullfighting in Spain. So and then I've always taught bullfighting when we did in RE, sort of like a sort of debating thing. So that was sort of something similar. I could sort of think, oh, I've done that before, so I'll just bring that over to English.
I wonder what kind of debate work do you do in RE? I've never really thought about debating in RE.
So many things. Like things like, well, we did like a whole unit on animal rights. But you can do things like euthanasia and war and peace. Yeah, there's just so many things to debate.
That's interesting. I would never have thought about that. I'd be like, this is the religion. This is how it's done.
Yeah, I think it's a lot different than how it used to be. I think people are quite surprised these days with RE that it's not just not just your religions. There is a lot of sort of topics as well, like issues and themes, and like the whole unit on war and peace and crime and punishment. Even, I mean, we had a whole debate about the death penalty, and so that was really interesting because you get lots of different viewpoints about it. And
amazing. I think debate's really lovely as well, because there's so many children that aren't so keen to write or don't want to pick up a pencil, and then you do debate or you do something that is talk based and you just see a totally different student.
Yes, some love talking.
Yeah, love talking but won't write it down. But I think debate gives those students a chance to shine, doesn't it?
Definitely. Yeah, no, absolutely it does. Yeah.
Have you seen students in RE lessons that are then different kind of students in an English lesson?
I don't think I've actually had classes where I've taught them both RE and English, so I don't know. But I think actually in English they are better behaved than RE.
Really?
Yeah, because I think they take English more seriously. Because RE sometimes they come on with this negative attitude, like, oh, it's religion, I don't really want anything to do with that. And they don't really give it a chance sometimes.
That's such a shame. I mean, yeah.
English, even if they find it hard, I think they at least respect it and think it's important.
It's so interesting that some subjects just have this idea based around them, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's partly parent views as well. I think quite a lot of parents are anti-RE, so that obviously passes down to their children.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? Definitely. Mal said that RE and all the humanities subjects are ideal for debate. I guess, have you done debate? You've done a lot of foundation subjects. You've got a whole list of like RE, history, geography. Did you use your debating teacher skills in the other subjects that you did?
I'm trying to think now. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, maybe, a bit less so, but yeah, definitely in history, the sort of things you can debate. Yeah.
I was going to say that geography, I would imagine, is a bit trickier to debate, because I would imagine geography is quite fact based.
Yeah.
Whereas
I haven't taught geography for a little while, but I only taught it once in year 7. But yeah, that is a lot more fact based, I would agree.
Yeah, it's interesting actually, because Miss T just said, I wonder if children don't take RE seriously in secondary because it's not a prioritised subject in primary. And I think it's definitely something to wonder about, because you get English and maths, which, like you said, they take seriously, and we take quite seriously in primary. And then comes science, and then comes geography, and then comes history. And maybe you do a bit of art, and definitely it's like RE and PSHE are kind of pushed to the wayside.
Definitely, and I think even timetabling, like in the history, geography, you get a lot more timetable time, and even like I think in one school was that the history and geography exercise books were bigger than RE.
Really?
And I kind of think, what is this saying to the kids? I don't know. Yeah, and the fact that they only get it once a week, whereas I think history and geography sometimes get it more than that. And so yeah, definitely
So
can't really.
interesting.
Mm,
I guess, I mean, what was I say? Tom said that I think it depends on the school and the teachers at secondary
yeah.
for RE, and
Mm,
it definitely does. It also comes down to the senior leadership teams, I think, especially in primary. I know that I was PSHE lead in my last school, and I definitely found that it was down to the teachers. And I think some teachers think that some subjects it's just a quick circle time, or
yeah.
like you say for RE, it's about subject knowledge. Do you find that with some teachers that we're scared to
Yeah,
teach subjects because of our subject
definitely.
knowledge?
Yeah, I think the problem with RE is sometimes in some schools, I mean, not all schools, but some schools it kind of gets passed around to lots of teachers. So that you'll get one main teacher, but then there's loads of little bits that need filling in. So some will get RE on their timetable, and they'll think, oh, I don't have a clue about this, I don't want to do this, or they just don't want to do it. And so yeah, I think definitely it's really hard trying
It's
to.
almost like we're scared of subject knowledge sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, one school I taught at, I was sort of in charge of like Key Stage 3 RE, and we had so many non-specialists, so we had to make sure that all the PowerPoints were like, you could teach them without really doing anything.
Yeah.
But lots of people would come up to me and say, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing.
I guess you said though actually that RE can be quite philosophical.
Definitely. I
And
don't think you can get it wrong that much. I mean, I think people are afraid to sort of do it sometimes, but you can't really go that much wrong.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that the statutory requirement is 1 hour a week in primary school, and I'm not sure if even the children get that because, like I said, there's a lot of subjects that seem to be top of the list before RE.
Definitely. I think even in secondary, they're supposed to do it up to, I think actually legally they're supposed to do it up to the age of 18, but I don't think, obviously it doesn't happen in sixth form, but a lot of schools don't do it in like upper school, or they'll sort of make it part of form time or something. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's one of those things that it's like we'll slot it in somewhere, or
Yeah,
we'll do an assembly on one of the festivals, and then we can tick it off our list.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
So, RE and PSHE seem to be box ticking subjects, which is such a shame because
Yeah,
they seem, I don't know what you think, but they seem to be the subjects that are most about life.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I think they're so important. I mean, we talk about things like racism as well, and I think it's really important to challenge views and sort of, get them thinking, yeah, this is wrong.
It's just to think outside the box, and like I think those are the subjects that encourage children to think outside the box.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
Whereas I think a lot of other subjects are so exam led, which is a shame. Yeah, we've got a lot of people that seem quite passionate about how much RE should be done in school. I'm sure that would sit well with you as a former RE teacher.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think because I think one school I taught RE GCSE. Well, everyone had to do RE GCSE as a compulsory GCSE.
Really?
But they only had it once a week, whereas other GCSE subjects
Yeah.
got more time, and it was just impossible to try and fit it all in. And
Yeah. No,
really
you can't do that. And also, it's like, if we do RE on a Monday and then 7 days later they come back and you say, so what did we do last week?
Yeah.
I think even as the teacher, you're like, what did I teach them last week?
Yeah. And
So,
quite often RE teachers have lots of classes as well. So yeah, trying to keep track of all this. That's difficult.
Yeah, it is difficult. And I know the big push in primary school is not so much about what is in their books as opposed to kind of what is in their memory. And with one lesson a week or 1 hour a week in a massive timetable of probably double science and double maths, it loses its importance almost, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, and I think like when I taught the compulsory GCSE RE, a lot of parents would say, well, we're not really prioritizing it, sorry. My child may be predicted an A, but they're not going to revise for your subject because they're revising for other subjects, which I do kind of understand, but it's hard on the teachers.
it's a shame, really, because I would imagine as a GCSE subject or even as an A-level subject, it's one that you've chosen.
Well, it depends
Like,
on the school. Yeah.
oh, really?
Yeah. Well, there's one school I was at, everyone's had to do it. So.
Wow, yeah. I mean, I would have thought as an option you'd kind of want to do it and enjoy it. And I think if you enjoy a subject in any kind of year group or any age, you want to do it and you want to learn more about it.
Yeah, ideally.
Yeah. In an ideal world.
Yeah.
Not in an education world. We don't live in an ideal world. We live in the education world.
Yeah.
Nothing ideal in this world, unfortunately. But yeah, it is a shame. I wonder, we got a lot of comments. The trouble is from Catherine that if some other subjects are full, students get pushed into other ones they maybe don't want to do.
Yeah, I think that is a big thing as well. Yeah, like they'll get given it or they don't want it or something other subjects, and yeah, if they feel like they've been forced to do it, they're not that keen.
That's I actually didn't know that about high school, that you kind of don't always, it's not always an option.
Yeah,
that's a shame. Well, I'm just going to play the news, Vicky, and then we'll go to an advert, and then I cannot wait to hear about injections and a giant hornet.
Okay, yeah.
I think we've all either started the term or about to, and we could probably all as teachers use a little giggle. So
Okay, yeah.
I'll just mute you, and then we'll go to the news and the adverts, and then we'll be back.
Okay.
This is Teachers Talk Radio, and this is Teachers Talk Radio News with Megan Goods.
This is your latest Teachers Talk Radio News. As almost all UK schools will have reopened their doors to students following the summer holidays by the end of next week, the new COVID guidelines are causing concern. There will no longer be a requirement for schools to operate bubbles systems. Assemblies can return. There are no restrictions to mixing during break times, and social distancing is no longer expected in England. Voluntary asymptomatic COVID testing will be encouraged amongst secondary pupils, however, in a bid to continue to mitigate the spread of the virus. Scotland's recent rise in COVID cases in school communities has led many to fear the same will happen in England. Gavin Williamson, however, has encouraged the relaxation of measures, hoping schools will return to normality. School kitchens are being urged by wholesalers to pre-order their supplies and stock up on food. The expected shortage of food items results from the lack of HGV drivers. Food and drink chains, including McDonald's and Nando's, have already reported stock shortages this week. Finally, a school receptionist from Yorkshire has published a list of factors she said left students more likely to be unpopular with their teachers. The list, published in a national newspaper, included having a unique name, tardiness, incorrect uniform, and even domineering parents as reasons pupils may be prejudged. That was your latest Teachers Talk Radio News.
Creative Resources, made for teachers by teachers. At Creative Resources, we've been rethinking what a classroom can be. We've created a huge range of more than 2,500 original and exciting resources that span across more than 15 different subject areas. Whether you're looking for primary or secondary level resources, careers options, PSHE, arts or humanities, Creative Resources have the resources for you. We offer full curriculum packages and unique challenging escape rooms themed on topics such as Shakespeare, Tudors, and fractions. We have quizzes, task cards, Tarsia puzzles, and lots more. Better still, more than 100 resources can be accessed for free. Just visit our website, www.CRE8TIVEresources.com. You can get 10% off any order you make on our website by using discount code TTRadio. Creative resources made for teachers by teachers. Every teacher loves stationery, right? Imagine getting a selection of fun, beautiful, and unique stationery items designed and selected especially for teachers, delivered through your door every month. You need to check out teacherslovestationery.club.
I'm always so excited when the box arrives. It's such a treat.
My Teachers Love Stationery Club box is just a little treat to myself every month.
It's always full of delightful and surprising items, including some really good quality stationery brands like Faber-Castell and Stabilo.
And because you never know what you're going to get, it makes it even more fun and special when you get it.
It feels really great to be supporting a family business that's run by real teachers. I can't help feeling like they just know what I'm going to enjoy using stationery-wise better than I do myself.
Visit teacherslovestationery.club and enter the code TTRadio when you buy your first stationery box to save £2 today. teacherslovestationery.club. Introducing the Leadership Masterclass series by Diana Osagi. Learn how to ditch your fears and develop your leadership competence, how to deal with difficult colleagues, how to thrive when you lead in a challenging environment, and how to get colleagues to buy into your vision. Join Diana for her online leadership masterclasses starting on the 10th of July and running all the way through the summer. These sessions are the perfect way to prepare and refresh for the next academic year and beyond. Book your place at courageousleadership.co.uk/events now. The first 50 leaders to sign up get an additional free mini coaching session with Diana herself. Don't miss this. Courageous Leadership Masterclasses at courageousleadership.co.uk/events. Every teacher loves stationery, right?
So, hi Vicky. Is back.
Hi.
Vicky said to me that she had a story that was put into a book called Chronicles from the Classroom that was published by Sarah Mullins. So maybe you could start off by just telling us a bit about the book.
Yeah, so it was in lockdown last year, so lockdown 1. On Twitter, Sarah Mullin put out this thing, I think, just saying if anyone's got a story, I'm writing this book. If anyone would like to sort of send in a story. So yeah, I just remembered something that happened to me that was funny and just sent in the story, and then it got published in the book. So that was really good.
That's amazing. That's really brave. Sometimes I'm a bit scared to talk about my teaching experiences. I feel like sometimes we feel so alone when we're in a classroom, and I wonder, God, did that happen to somebody else? Do you ever feel that?
Yeah, no, I think you do worry a bit that someone's going to judge you for what you're writing.
Absolutely.
But this book is great. It's got so many great funny stories in as well.
Definitely have to have a look at. Have you read it then? Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I did get a copy. I've read most of it. I haven't read all of it yet, but yeah, I was laughing my head off at some of the stories.
Do you have any favourite stories that you thought, oh, gosh, that happened to me, or any stories where you actually you feel sorry for our colleagues sometimes?
Yeah, well, there's one about a pigeon, I think, that died. I can't remember the exact story, but yeah, it was kind of like, oh no, anything to do with animals in the classroom is never good.
Well, they say don't work with animals and don't work with children.
Yeah.
And sometimes we do both.
Yeah.
I think maybe we should listen to other people's advice sometimes as teachers.
Yeah.
Don't work with children, don't work with animals, and definitely don't do it at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So can you tell us the story that was included in the book?
Well, I can give you sort of a rundown of it, yeah. So it was basically about a day, not last year, but the year before, where I had this year 8 class 3 times in one day. And that was just my normal timetabled lessons with them.
Wow.
And I somehow missed the memo telling me that it was injections that day for year 8. So the first lesson, some of them turn up, and I'm like, oh, where's everyone else? Oh, they're having injections, and I was like, oh no, okay. And so yeah, then the rest of them are all terrified at these injections, and they're all talking about it, and then some of them come back in dribs and drabs, so it's impossible to get anything like proper teaching done because they're coming in dribs and drabs. So it was a bit of a nightmare to start with, and then the talk of the needle is getting bigger and bigger, and some of them are having panic attacks just thinking about it. They're having to go outside the classroom and going, "Oh, I can't cope, I don't want to have this injection," and then some of them start returning, and the others are going, and so it's all a bit chaotic. And then one of them started getting food out, and I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, the nurse said we've got to eat." And I was like, I don't think they meant a whole picnic, maybe a biscuit, but because then the others started getting their food out and go, "Oh, we can eat." I'm like, "No, you can't eat." This is still a lesson. And so this kind of went on for about, this went on through a whole of the first lesson. And the second lesson, there was less of them because some of them had gone home because they couldn't cope with the injections.
They went home.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I remember when I had my BCG, it was like, "Here you go, back to class."
Yeah, I know. And then,
things have changed.
Definitely, yeah. Some of them are outside the classroom because they, been quite traumatic for them. And then I think it was during lesson 2 at this point when a giant hornet decided to come in the room, and I thought, as if this day is not any bad. This is bad enough. Now we got a hornet, great. And so all the kids then run out screaming because it was massive, and that was me trying to flap it around, trying to get it out humanely without getting it out of the window, but it wasn't going anywhere. So I thought, right, that's it. It's either my lesson or the hornet. So I grabbed the nearest girl's book and then whacked it, and it fell down behind the radiator. And I thought, oh, thank goodness! Right, at least we got rid of that. Right, guys, we all come back in now. It's safe. And then I think after that, one of the boys returned, and then he just stood in the middle of the classroom and started, doing his arm like a propeller. And I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Nurse said to keep moving my arm."
Oh my god!
And I was like, "What? Why are you doing it like that?" So it was absolutely hilarious. And then the third lesson I had them, it was still a bit of kind of injection chaos, but it was starting to get a lot more normal. And then I remember the deputy head came in, and I was telling him a bit about the hornet and stuff at the door, and he said, "Oh, you do know that dead hornets attract other hornets?" And then loads of the kids started panicking then, and then they started going under the radio trying to find this dead hornet, and I was like, "Thanks, you just ruined my lesson again." But yeah, so it was complete chaos, and one of the days we think I might as well just go home.
Wow, that sounds crazy. 3 lessons in a row. How long were you with? This sounds like it went on for the whole day.
Yeah, well, it wasn't consecutive lessons either. So I had like period 1 was year 8, and then I had period 2 something else, and then period 3 was year 8 again, and then it must have been period 5 or something was year 8. So yeah,
oh my god,
went on a long
that's
time.
crazy. What did you think? Did you find the hornet?
Yeah, I think they did in the end. They managed to get rid of the dead bodies just in case it interacted anymore.
Thank God for that. You don't want his family visiting.
No, definitely not.
Gosh. Yeah, you're very brave. I think I would have run out of the classroom with the children.
Yeah. Sometimes you do feel like doing that, but you have to be the brave one, I guess.
My God, that's crazy. I wonder if anybody else has any like funny stories like that. I think we all do.
Yeah, I think bees, hornets, wasps, anything like that, and particularly disruptive.
Yeah, I had a bird in my classroom once, actually. And last year at my old school, we had a pond area. And so I was teaching a lesson, I don't know what it was, and somebody went, "Is that a frog?" I was like, "Sorry, what?" And it was really dark. I was like, "No, it's a leaf, like leave it." And they're like, "No, it's a frog." So, like, a frog in the class. It's always animals.
Yeah. Well, actually, one school I taught at was a rural school, and where my classroom was, it was kind of positioned like near the road, and you could see and quite often you get tractors going by. I mean, for me, this is like a novelty, but I didn't live in that area. But those kids were like, "Oh, it's a tractor!" And I'm like, "You live here? How is this a surprise for you?" But yeah, they get so excited by these tractors.
And I bet they always came at the worst time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was in year 1, they used to mow the lawn during my phonics lessons.
Oh yeah, I hate that.
Like, is is really helpful. I'm trying to do sounds, and there's a little mower outside.
Yes. It's always when you want to actually do something.
It is, absolutely. What was it like at a rural school?
Yeah, it was. It was. I really enjoyed it. Actually, it was a really good school. But yeah, there was a lot of tractors.
I thought you were going to say an animal walked into the classroom.
No, didn't have any animals. No.
Gosh, did the children think anything of like the hornet and the injection? I just wonder if, we see the chaos, and then I wonder if the children notice that there's like chaos in the classroom.
Yeah, I think some of them are probably enjoying it a bit too much.
I bet.
Yeah,
I believe.
some of them.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I was, so some of them I think was just too focused on the injections to worry about anything else.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, bless them. Not the funnest thing, injections at school.
No.
So, not only are you an English teacher, you're also about to become an author, I believe.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What was the story that got you to there?
Well, I've always enjoyed writing. Sort of, I've always wrote stories and stuff, and I've been to quite a few sort of evening classes, like adult education, sort of creative writing courses, and then, but it was all sort of quite patchy, right here and there when I could, especially when my children were younger. But probably in the last about maybe 10 years or so, I've sort of become a bit more serious about it, and I've got a writing group that I met quite a few of them at one of these courses I did, and we meet every 2 weeks and we share things that we've written. And so I started writing a novel about, I don't know, probably about 4 years ago. And I think to start with, it was just supposed to be sort of something short, but it sort of kept going. And yeah, then last year in lockdown, I managed to finish it. So lockdown really helped. And then I just I sent it to my friend who was actually an English teacher at my school, and I said, "Oh, do you want to read this and see what you think?" And she was just like, "Oh, this is great. You've got to get it published." So I sent it to a few publishers, and then one of them came back and said, "Oh yeah, we like this."
Wow.
So yeah, it's really exciting, like dream come true, really.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Do you teach full time?
No, part time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was going to say, I think a lot of the time as teachers, we need a bit of well-being and almost like a break from the work. But because if you're an English teacher and then one of your passions is reading and writing, it's like, how do you find a break from work? How does that work?
Well, I suppose it is different, kind of. Even though I'm when I'm teaching at school, it's more physical, I'm on my feet, and it's kind of very mentally sort of there as well. But when I'm at home, it's a bit, I suppose it's a different kind of, if I'm writing on the laptop or whatever, and it's a lot more kind of relaxing, and I can do it at my own pace. So it's different, I suppose.
Yeah. Do you find it a bit of a switch off? Part of the brain switches off?
Yeah, definitely. And I do really enjoy it. I mean, there are sometimes when I don't write generally when I'm on a day when I'm working because I'm too tired in the evening. But during the holidays and the weekends or days off, I do find it really enjoyable. And but obviously when I'm trying to reach deadlines for the publishers, I sort of have to make myself do it sometimes.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's almost like stepping into the children. Did you find you stepped into the children's shoes a little bit?
Yeah, I suppose in a way I did. Just trying to get it done in time, and trying to doing editing. I think it's been worth it.
Really?
Goes on forever.
That's funny. I always think editing in an English lesson is just actually, how do you do it as a full-on lesson? And then in the real world, it's like the writer doesn't even do the edits, really, do they?
Well, because I'm going with a small publisher, it's like he did a little bit, but the majority is sort of down to me, really.
Oh, okay.
But I think I had this vision in my head that you write the book, you give it to the publisher, and that's it, they publish it. But there's a lot more to it than
that. So what was the journey after you kind of got the letter back and say, we'd like to publish it?
Well, I think I sent him. He wanted to see the synopsis and also a chapter synopsis. And then originally I'd written the book from the point of view of teenagers, or two teenagers and their mum. And he said sort of, I feel like you're trying to aim at different markets here, sort of young adult and adult. So he said, I think you should maybe cut out their mum's point of view.
Oh.
So you obviously still have her as a character, but not have those like the chapters from her point of view. So I then rewrote half of it.
Wow.
So
Oh my gosh.
yeah, in lockdown too, I think it was.
Wow. How did you find the motivation to rewrite half the book?
I don't know. I could see his point, and I thought, yeah, actually, I think this is going to make it better, and it actually helped me get through lockdown too, because obviously it was about Christmas, wasn't it? Sort of just before. It was very gloomy, wasn't it? And not being able to go anywhere, see anyone, it's a bit depressing. So yeah, it kept me going, knowing I had something to do and something to keep me going.
I think it would be nice if children saw the point in the edit sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and then after that, I sent it back to him, and then he sort of edited it, and then I did quite a lot of editing, sort of based on his comments, and then they have what's called the beta readers, so people who then read it before it's published and sort of give you feedback and stuff. So I had because my book's a young adult book, it's aimed at young adult. I had sort of a range of different ages reading it. So I had like a published author reading it, and also had about 5 teenagers and some other sort of colleagues and stuff reading it as well. So so I've just sort of got to the point where I've had their feedback. So I've done more editing based on their feedback. And then one of my friends has agreed to then read it again to check, and that it's kind of didn't make any more typos which I probably have in the more edits, and that's kind of the stage where I'm at now, and I'm waiting for it to sort of return, and I'll edit a tiny bit more, and then hopefully that'll be done.
That'd be amazing, really amazing. It's interesting though, because that kind of speaks to the whole topic of finding an audience, especially in writing in the classroom.
Yeah,
I think sometimes it's lost. I think sometimes the children have the idea that the audience is the teacher.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess it just proves to them that actually in real life there are specific audiences that we write for. Did you have an audience in mind when you sat down to write it, or where did the inspiration come from?
Well, I mean, my book is young adult, but I suppose I wasn't really aiming at to start with. I mean, I guess it's because I'm surrounded by teenagers and my daughters. I probably, my friends said that I write teenagers quite well, so I guess actually it does make sense to write sort of young adult, but I think I just sort of started writing this thriller and thought, that is my audience, but I didn't really have in mind an age group at the time, but I do think it would be definitely adults could enjoy it as well, because a lot of my beta readers enjoyed it who were older, so yeah.
Did you have to kind of go through a process, or did you just let it flow wherever the inspiration took you?
I when I'm writing, actually, I do kind of like to sort of just write and then not plan too much. I know some, it depends on different authors do different things. I know some authors like sort of plot it out and all this to start with, but I kind of just like to let the creative juices flow and just write it, and then to maybe do a bit more planning later when, but or sort of change things. I mean, my novel has changed quite a lot since I first wrote it, and added lots of chapters in and sort of took out bits, but I feel like if you plan too much, I mean, this is me personally, that it kind of, then you kind of think, oh, I feel like I've done it without doing it, and it's, almost spoils the creativeness.
Absolutely. It's funny though that you say like not to plan too much, but then I think of English lessons in school.
I know, I feel like I'm kind of going against all that, but
yeah, it's like I don't think we could plan any less with the children before they do a piece of writing. But I mean, I always said to my kids, and especially the older kids, that actually, like you say, it's about the creative juices flowing, and that you shouldn't really put pen to paper until the idea is in your head.
Yeah. I mean, I do think about it a lot in my head first, I guess, and I sort of maybe live it out in my head.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's
yeah, I'm in the process of writing another one. That's sort of
Oh, wow.
living that in my head at the moment.
I think as teachers, we have a lot of things that live in our heads.
Yeah, yeah,
Still,
absolutely.
all those light bulb moments that we're trying to write down on paper, and like, so when it comes to your head, do you kind of scribble ideas down, or do you go and write straight away?
It depends. I mean, quite a lot of the time I'll just start writing straight away. But sometimes I do have a little notebook and write down some ideas. It depends where I am. I mean, last week I was on holiday, so I didn't have a laptop with me, so I just took my notebook and wrote down ideas when I had them.
Yeah. Do you find that the creative juices flow at kind of just whenever? I mean, I know I'm a creative, and sometimes ideas come to me at very inconvenient times.
Yeah, sometimes it's quite often, yeah, just really want to go to bed and
Yeah.
can't think about this now. But yeah, I find driving and sort of like having a shower or going for a walk, or times when I'm perhaps away from my phone, that's time to think and figure out stuff. That really
Yeah,
helps.
absolutely. Like, I wonder if anybody listening actually, like, when do your ideas come to you? Like I said, mine come to me at the most inconvenient times, and I think it's those times, like when I used to go swimming, ideas would come to me. Like I say, inconvenient.
Yeah,
Like you're driving, like you said, Vicky, when
yeah.
very inconvenient. How do you write it down?
Well, yeah, that's it. Then worry that you're gonna forget what you've been thinking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
we said Annie Girl said she's finally worked out her settings to comment. So it's Bev. So yeah, she said that her ideas come at 4 a.m.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Nice to know I'm not the only one that has ideas in my brain at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I do have a bit of paper by my bed just in case I think of anything I need to.
Really?
I mean, not so much to do with writing, but generally, just think, I'm going to forget this. So I need to.
I know. I actually went on a course ages ago. I don't even know what it was about. And the guy actually literally said that, Vicky. He said you should have a wow pad next to your bed.
Yeah, it is useful because then you can sort of forget about it and go to sleep.
That's true. Sometimes I reach for my phone to like type it in. That's probably the worst thing to do.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
At 4 a.m. stare at your bright phone. But yeah, as Bev said, the best idea is 4 a.m. in the morning, like you said, while you're driving in the swimming pool. And I wonder, is it because like at those times you're actually not really thinking about anything else? So as teachers, you have brain space to think about it.
Yeah, I think that is the thing, because I think when I'm out having a walk or a shower, I'm away from my phone, away from all the distractions of social media. So yeah, definitely that does help to have that space to think about it. Sometimes I get stuck. I think I'll just gonna go for a walk or something because I need to figure this out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as teachers, and I'm sure everyone that's listening can attest to this, that during the day while we're at work and we're doing our lessons, we're just like going a mile a minute.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And I think, like, brains going a mile a minute doesn't really give you a chance to be creative.
No, yeah, and I think you are really tired at the end of the day as well.
Yeah, my brain is tired.
Yeah.
And we've only just started the year, so
I know. I've only done 2 training days and I'm exhausted already.
Oh no! Are you teaching English again this year?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very good. Have you told your classes about your being a published author status?
No, I haven't actually yet. I don't know. I was kind of waiting till a bit nearer the time, I suppose. And I haven't even told all my colleagues yet. But
yeah, that'd be amazing. I think bringing real life into the classroom is really important for children.
Definitely, yeah. Hopefully, I mean, one of my students actually, she's writing a novel as well, and she was sending me bits of it, and I was kind of like giving her some suggestions and stuff, and it was really nice to sort of help someone in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you inspire her with yours, or she kind of just?
No, I think she just was generally really interested in writing. So, yeah.
That's nice. It's nice to get students that are interested in the writing process.
Definitely, yeah. and yeah, that's sort of why I wanted to encourage her by helping her out with her novel a bit. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Where did the inspiration come for your second novel?
Well, the one I'm writing at the moment.
Mm.
I don't know really. I think these are just well, the one the sort of one I'm writing at the moment actually is sort of about a teenager whose mum's an alcoholic, and
Mm.
so I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know where I thought that from. It just popped into my head, but I think it's sort of interesting to write about challenging situations, I think.
Yeah, that's interesting. They're not very light-hearted topics.
No, yeah. Yeah. No, I mean the one I'm getting published is a thriller, and that's got some sort of important topics in. So
Are those the kind of books that you would read, or do you read different books to what you write?
I think I do enjoy reading kind of things with topics like that, and sort of quite hard-hitting topics. But I do enjoy reading a range of things actually, and I sort of do try and sort of challenge myself by reading lots of different things. And since I've sort of signed up to Twitter and sort of following all these other writers, and I've been reading some of their books, and some of them are maybe not genres that I'd normally read, but I've really enjoyed them, and that's been really good.
Yeah, I guess it's nice to read a variety of genres. Do you have a favourite?
Definitely. Thrillers, crime thrillers probably, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why do you gravitate to crime thrillers?
I don't know really. I don't know. I suppose I just love books that have big twists in and sort of always shock you. And I don't know. I mean, when I was younger, I used to read romance books, but I don't know. I recently seem to have gone a bit more dark. I don't know why. But yeah, and I think because I think I sort of appreciate the art of writing a crime novel really as well, because I think I suppose a lot of them must have like sort of crime backgrounds or have worked in the police, some of them. But I think it's really kind of clever. It's kind of to sort of work out a plot like that, and I do really enjoy reading those.
Yes, it's about like not giving away too much too early.
Yeah, it's quite clever, and I think when you're trying to write a sort of twist in your own novel, it's often hard to know is it surprising or not, because I know it. It's only when you get feedback from others and say, yeah, actually, I was surprised.
That's an interesting point, actually. I guess because it's tricky as an author to kind of be surprised by your own writing.
Yeah. There's the one that's sort of that I'm getting published in a couple of months. I mean, all my beta readers said they didn't see the twist coming at all, and I was like, oh, okay, that's good.
Oh, that's you're like amazing, well done.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's amazing. So wow, it's so exciting to have the book because so you've 2 books published. Almost.
Well, there was a story, but yeah.
Yeah, a story published, and then your debut novel. Amazing.
Yeah, I know, it's so exciting.
What inspired you to kind of send it out to publishers? I guess as teachers, we're so consumed by the job that it's good to have focuses outside of the job. That's really important, I think.
I don't know really. I suppose I'd always in the back of my mind thought it would be great to get something published or a novel published, but I don't know, I'd never sort of actually got to the end of finishing writing a novel. And I sort of finished it and thought, well, I actually quite liked it. And then I had my writing friends who were sort of encouraging each other, and some of them were writing novels as well. So and it was my friends' encouragement and my family as well. I mean, my husband and both my girls are really supportive, and both my teenage girls actually read my book and sort of said, oh yeah, you just definitely got to do this. And so yeah, it's been really helpful.
Do you think it would have happened if we as teachers hadn't been in lockdown?
Yeah, I think so, but maybe not as soon, because I think having the time definitely did help.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think I would have got there in the end. But
definitely. No, I actually think as teachers there were some positives to the lockdown, that we had more time for our hobbies.
Yeah,
in a way.
I think you weren't, in some ways you had more time to do things, because you weren't so going out all the time with you.
Yeah, spending time at school,
Yeah.
brain consumed by things at school. So I wonder if anybody else had more times for their hobbies. I know I bought a sewing machine.
Oh wow.
I'm not the avid writer like yourself, Vicky, but I think sometimes we just have to switch off as teachers. and it's
definitely.
difficult. Is this the kind of the main thing, the one thing that helps you to switch off?
Um, not no, I think well, it's one of the main things, I suppose, but I do also enjoy like family history as well, so that helps me to switch off a lot.
Oh, wow. Oh, so interesting. Gosh. So
Yeah.
it seems like you were destined to be an English teacher.
Yeah, I just kind of feel like it was meant to be in some ways. Yeah, now that I've sort of now I'm teaching, I think, yeah, gosh, I should have done this before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you excited to get back into the classroom?
Yeah, I think I will be. I need to get a bit more organised, I think. But yeah, I think it's always scary when you haven't met some of the classes.
Yeah,
But yeah, actually, I'm really
absolutely.
excited this year because I've got because last year we were in lots of different rooms and I've got my own room and it used to be a drama studio, so it's quite big and
Oh,
I'm really
wow.
excited about that.
That's amazing. That's really nice. So have you got a
Mm.
stage in your English classroom?
No, no, I'm not
Oh.
a stage.
I'm getting too excited about resources.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be amazing. And which year groups will be you teaching your English to?
7 and 8.
Okay, so staying in 7 and 8. And do you
Yeah.
think your debut novel will make it onto the syllabus?
Well, it's probably sort of aimed at more older teenagers. I don't think year 7 or 8 would be suitable for them.
Oh, okay. Oh, very nice. When do your kids begin? Is it next week?
My own kids.
No,
Or
sorry, your
oh,
classes. Sorry,
oh, sorry, my
saying
classes.
own
Yeah.
kids.
Well, I think there's year 7 and 11 tomorrow, but it's my day off tomorrow, so I'm not
Oh,
actually in. And then
lovely.
everyone else is coming back Monday. So
Oh, amazing. And have you got a go-to kind of first year 7 English lesson that you would use?
yeah, we always start with autobiography as a topic, and so
Okay.
it's quite good for year 7s because then they can sort of talk about themselves a bit and write about some of their experiences, and so I think it's always good to start on a place where they can talk about themselves.
Yeah. I guess it's good for writing to start with a subject
Mm.
where I guess they don't have to think about the subject matter too much.
Yeah, yeah, that is good. And then we sort of link it to Boy by Roald Dahl, it's the biography about him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Vicky, and I wish you
Well, thank you for
all the
having me.
best with your novel. I can't wait to read it.
Oh, thank
Maybe
you.
not at night.
Yeah.
I'm not a horror fan, but yeah, I'll give it a
Oh,
go. And
it's not quite horror. It'll be all right.
okay, I'll be fine then.
Yeah.
I won't read it to my reception children, but I will read it myself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no,
I mean,
it's been great to come on.
yeah, no, and I love all the cross curricular stuff. I think it's amazing that you were able to
Mm.
get all the other subject teachers on board.
Yeah, no, it was great.
And yeah, well, hopefully you will have time to do it again, and also as many lessons as possible we can do in person in the next academic year.
Yes, very hopefully.
All right, well, thank you so much, Vicky, and good luck with your novel.
Thank you very much.
All right, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me in the studio today. Hope you've enjoyed the conversation. I hope you have some chronicles from your classroom that you can share with me on Twitter. I'd love to hear them. I know all of us teachers have some crazy things that have gone in our classrooms, from my frog that entered my classroom. And do you have brave colleagues that helped you out? And I had the most amazing TA last year, the bravest woman ever, who scooped up the frog and took him back to the pond area. So I'm sure you guys have some stories about some crazy classroom chronicles. And yeah, love that creative writing stance. And I love the word creative writing because in primary we always called them long writes. And I actually think creative writing sounds a lot more exciting. So hopefully you will get a chance to read Vicky's novel. The Chronicles from the Classroom sounds absolutely hilarious. And I know it's been a stressful couple of years as teachers, so we all need a laugh every now and again. So please share your teacher stories, talk about them with your colleagues. It could be quite a lonely place sometimes in the classroom. So we all go through similar things every day. And I'm sure we have all had some crazy stories about lessons. So it's been lovely to talk to you guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. And in about half an hour, we have Genevieve Bents. So hopefully you guys will come back for that. And I will see you next Thursday. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Teachers Talk Radio. Tune in live and listen back at ttradio.org. We look forward to hearing from you next time on Teachers Talk Radio.